What's going on YouTube? It's Gan and Mo.
So this has been one hell of a week up on Capitol Hill. The GOP finally released their stimulus proposal that we have all been patiently waiting for. And on top of that, we have the newest updates regarding your student loan relief.
This whole thing turned out to be a shit show. A shit show you don't want to miss out on. So make sure to hit that like button and let's dive into it. Monday, July 27th of 2020 was a very big day in Congress as the Senate Republicans released their stimulus package proposal that we've all been waiting for. The new stimulus proposal by the Republican Senate, known as the HEALS Act, which stands for Health, Economic Assistance, Liability Protection, and School Act, is a $1 trillion stimulus package. And that is meant to follow the CARES Act, which was approved in March. And this is a direct response to the Democratic Senate's HEROES Act. Now, Senate Leader, the almighty Mitch McConnell, introduced the bill this past Monday, and it includes several provisions.
Now, we want to lay out the key provisions of the HEALS Act in order to provide some fullness sake. But the goal of this video is to provide you with the most current updates regarding federal student loans that were proposed under the HEALS Act. Now, as expected, the GOP did agree to a second round of stimulus checks equivalent to $1,200, as Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin indicated last week. And the requirements to receive that second stimulus check will be the exact same requirements that were proposed under the CARES Act for the first round of stimulus checks.
Now, the Senate Republicans are proposing to cut the enhanced unemployment benefits that were received weekly for $600, which were approved under the CARES Act, down to 70% of wages. Now, according to Senator Grassley, that would come out to approximately $200 a week. While no specifics were given, Mitch McConnell did say that he wants to provide liability protection for hospitals, schools, and businesses retroactive 2019 for 5 years.
100% meal deductions, an effort to help out the restaurant industry, which has seen a loss of nearly 5.5 million jobs. Republicans have proposed that individuals will be able to deduct 100% of their business meals, up from 50% that was initiated under the CARES Act. And in hopes of opening up schools at least 50% of the time, the Republicans have proposed $105 billion in order to do so. $70 billion will be directed towards kindergarten through 12th grade, and $30 billion will be directed towards higher education. And another proposal under the HEALS Act is a return to work bonus.
Now, clearly, there are different provisions and adjustments being proposed with the expectation that both the Republicans and the Democrats will meet somewhere in the middle. But what about student loan relief?
Now remember, under the CARES Act, federal student loans were suspended and placed under administrative forbearance for nearly 6 months, from the end of March to September 30th, 2020. And during that time, the Department of Education held federal student loans at 0% interest, at which you were able to continue making payments towards your federal student loans. However, the 6 months of administrative forbearance that your federal student loans were placed under counted towards the public service loan forgiveness program if you were previously enrolled. Well, we wish we had better news for you today.
Now, the Senate Republicans did not mention anything about extending the CARES Act when it comes to student loan relief, which means that it's supposed to end on September 30th of 2020. Now, make sure that you are ready to start making those student loan payments starting October 1st.
Senator Lamar Alexander proposed a new student loan repayment program that in summary says, no income, no payments. The man's a genius. Alongside that, he proposed a new monthly student loan repayment program that is based on the borrower's discretionary income annually at 10%. Again, the man's a genius. I mean, given the fact that the borrower has an income. Has he heard of income-based repayment or repay programs? Somebody needs to show him a channel concerning and talking about student loans.
Now, borrowers pay 10% of their discretionary income, which is defined as all income above the poverty level, which is currently sitting at $19,140 per individual. Now, this proposal is virtually identical to the repayee repayment plan, which already exempts borrowers earning less than 150% below the poverty level from their debt obligations and their payments. And it also caps other borrowers to 10% of their discretionary income. Can somebody please give this man the handbook for the IBR repayee plans?
The Democrats, however, do not like this and proposed under the HEROES Act to extend student loan relief to include federal student loans, Perkins loans, and even FFELP loans not owned by the federal government. So through September 30th, 2021, Under the HEROES Act, if passed, you could receive the following student loan relief. Pause all payments for federal student loans. Set interest rates at 0%. Stop collection of federal student loan debt. Count non-payment of federal student loan debts towards the 120 required monthly payments for public service loan forgiveness, and include $10,000 of student loan forgiveness for borrowers who are struggling financially.
This past Monday, the Republican Senate was actually slammed by the consumer rights groups for releasing a stimulus package that did not have enough meaningful student loan relief. As such, they are petitioning to have the CARES Act extended when it came to the federal student loans, as well as approving several provisions in the Democratic proposal when it comes to the federal student loans along with their other loans.
The National Consumer Law Center released a statement on Monday exclaiming, "This week, student loan borrowers will start receiving notices that the CARES Act relief protection expires on September 30th, 2020. Congress must take steps to ensure that vulnerable student loan borrowers are not thrown into financial turmoil by being forced to make payments on their federal student loan debts during and after this pandemic."
Access and Success released a statement criticizing the HEALS Act for its lack of student loan relief. For college students, along with student loan borrowers, the proposal released by Mitch McConnell was a little too late. In face of a surging pandemic, this proposal cuts off relief for millions of borrowers and fails to reinvest in public colleges, which will have dire consequences for the student borrowers.
The Young Invincibles tweeted, "Without relief, Americans with student loan debt will struggle to survive the continuing pandemic." And many more organizations wrote letters and call to actions to Congress to provide some sort of relief for student loan borrowers during this pandemic.
U.S. Senator Kamala Harris and her colleagues, though, would include PSLF as part of the relief package, stating, "COVID-19 pandemic has made the work of our nurses, the healthcare providers, teachers, first responder, and countless other public sector workers more important than ever before."
As of right now, to date, we are hoping for Senate Democrats and Republicans to come to an agreement concerning student loan relief, as this is impacting millions of Americans and should not be ignored by Senate. On top of all that, the Department of Education are changing their student loan servicer providers, which would add even more headache, especially those with financial hardships.
Now, the House of Representatives are taking a summer recess in order to give Congress a chance to get this bill passed, which means that hopefully we're going to be hearing something regarding your student loans by mid-August.
And as always, we'll keep you up to date with the newest information concerning your federal student loans. All you have to do is gingerly tap that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.